so many of us are so stuck and obsessed with like our personalities and these personas that we portray for everyone else that it's very difficult for us to get out of it and like introduce something new to our life that wasn't already there before. Just like on a personal level, just because I don't really know how else to like share it or how else to like get this message through, but like I'm someone who is like a diligent, like I work really hard. I love to like do work, like I like to be productive, and I'm not really like a big partier or whatever the fuck, but I kind of went down this loop where for like a couple of years, I was really unable to do things that I saw as unproductive, which I thought at first was a good way to be. I thought that was like a good habit to be in, but then I realized that like, you know, I was going on like vacations and like traveling all over the place and whatever, and being in those places thinking about going home to like go do other shit. Like, oh, I shouldn't be here right now. Like, I don't deserve to be here. Like, I should go home because I'm not someone who travels and who parties. I'm someone who like sits at their desk and fucks off all day and does work all day. And yes, like I think that's you know, that is in the long term the kind of person that I am. Like, I'm going to work for most of my life, but you know, it also was had a really negative impact on my ability to be where I was in that moment. And I think that our personalities and like our egos and like our ability to let go of who we perceive ourselves to be is the single biggest reason that that our ability to enjoy new experiences and to have new things come into our life dies. And so I'm really trying to like put this across in like the best way possible, but I'm kind of struggling to put it into words because I can only really like I've just had a lot of experiences recently where this has been like a common theme, where I've been in a place and been with people who are not my crowd and in a place where I would never ever have imagined myself to be. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm here. Instead of being a fucking weirdo and being like, I shouldn't be here and leaving, I'm just gonna forget about who I am. I'm not August. I'm not the guy who like, you know, is in the gym every day and kickboxes 7 days a week and is not like obsessed with like my future and obsessed with like school and all this shit. Right now I'm August. I'm a degenerate. I'm on the other side of the planet and I've got like $100 in my pocket and I'm going to fuck off for the next 12 hours. And I'm going to make this the most stupid degen 12 hours of my life. And then I'm going to go back to reality. And honestly, like that, I don't know if you can call that an ego death, but being able to be like for real with myself and sitting there and being like, you know what, like I'm gonna just forget about who I am for the time being and just be the person that is the person who can bring out the most of this current situation is how I really started to understand that so much of life is so dependent on like how willing you are to open yourself up and to forget about who you are, not because like, you know, who you are is not important. Like, who you are is the most important thing ever. And I'm not saying to throw that shit out the window. I'm saying, like, hold on to that like it's your life, because it is. But if you ever want to grow and you ever want to, like wholly, like, really experience something new in a way that, like, it changes your fucking perspective on the world, you need to forget about who you are. Because every single one of us has prejudice or bias or some kind of like conforming perspective that like manipulates reality into what we want to perceive it as. All of us have that. Every single person grew up in a way that is different and that made them perceive reality differently. And you know, you grew up with two parents, so you're gonna go across the place of the world. You grew up with two parents who like loved you and showered you with shit. So you're gonna go across the world and you're gonna expect like love and compassion from everyone, but everyone's gonna be a dick. And so you're gonna go to like Barcelona and everyone's gonna be a dick to you, and you're gonna think Barcelona sucks. Whereas someone who grew up with his whole family fucking hating him is gonna go to Barcelona and everyone's gonna hate him and he's gonna think Barcelona's normal. That's a terrible example, but you know what I mean? Like, the essence of this is that so many of us have these kind of like walls of perspective that conform reality to be a way that we perceive it independently. And being able to let go of that is the only way that you can actually ever comprehend or experience something in a way that is like that is raw and that really changes your life. And it's like it can be as basic and as stupid as just like trying new food. Like, forget about you being the person who doesn't like tomatoes. Just eat a fucking tomato, and maybe, who knows, you'll like tomatoes. And then what? You go back to being who you were, except now you also like tomatoes. Right? Like I don't know. Even being here right now, I'm in a cottage in some place in the world, and you know, I'm not a person who does like flips and like fucking like I don't really like cliff jumping. I've just never been like that kind of guy. But since I've been here, I've been like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it. So, you know, like I learned to fucking backflip and I've learned like to get better at like diving and all that shit, like jumping off higher cliffs and stuff. And it's like I'm sitting here, you know, and I'm like, I'm not someone who would ever do that. But in this moment, of course, like fear still exists, and I'm not gonna go fucking like bungee jumping or like skydiving and like fucking kill myself. Although I would like to do both of those at some point. But, you know, I'm going to be someone who forgets about who I think I am and just be the person that can make the most out of this situation. And I think that being the person that can make the most out of the current situation that you're in is one of the hands down best ways to just make the most of your fucking life and to bring the positive experiences from being that person back to who you are. So if you can find separation between who you actually are and between who you actually are and the person who can make the most out of every situation, and then take the positive things of the person who can make the most of every situation and put them into the person that you are, then you can like literally have anything and be anything and do whatever you want and have no fear. Like you can be someone who goes out there and just fucking does stuff and loves all of it and like have this crazy like holistic set of experiences and like perspective of just like being able to make the most and best of everything. And I've found that the more I am like this, the more that I can just like love everything. And the more that I'm just like at peace with myself, because I have to give less fucks about like pertaining to who I think I am, and I can just be whoever the fuck I want to be in that moment. And so I think that's really like just such a great way to be, and it just makes you feel so fulfilled in so many ways. Now, the other thing that I wanted to kind of touch on that I think is also important and that has been like really on my mind is how do you share like the other thing I wanted to touch on that I think has also been like kind of on my mind a lot recently is just not giving a fuck about like anything. And this is kind of like related to the same thing, but also like this is kind of different. Not giving a fuck, but still being like analytic about how you don't give a fuck. So it's like you shouldn't care about anything. So you're like with a lot of things like, you know, social media and school and like your future and stuff, there's a lot of just like calculated, like I'm gonna do this and it's gonna bring me here. But that's not necessarily the best way to do everything, because from personal experience, I can promise you that a lot of the time, what you think you should do is not what you actually should do. What you think you should do is just what a bunch of fucking data from a bunch of random people who also don't know what they want to do or also don't know what they should do and are just as lost as everyone else have told you. And your brain has started to doubt your own like innate ability and innate desires and started to conform to whatever the fuck they want you to do. So a lot of the time, what you think you should do is not what you should do. What you feel you should do is what you should do. And now I'm not saying, you know, feel like you should go and fucking like kill someone when you're angry is what you should do, because what you should do is always feel a way and then think analytically about it. Don't think analytically about something and then push your feelings to the side and just listen to the facts. No, you should feel like I really want to do this, but is it smart? Okay, maybe it's a little dumb, but it's not totally ridiculous. Okay, what else is there? Is it logical? Like, does it hurt someone else? Does it hurt me? Am I gonna like live with these repercussions from this choice for the rest of my life, right? And so the more calculated we are, the less we find ourselves doing things that we actually like want to do. And doing what you want to do is the most important thing in the world, because if you don't like what you're doing, you're gonna do the most dog shit fucking job ever. And I know people say this all the time, but it's like and you're probably realizing this right now, because most people that are gonna watch this are probably like my age. I'm 20, right? And most of us are starting to get jobs and starting to do all this stuff. And again, I hate talking about jobs because everyone's like, he's anti 9-to-5 or whatever the fuck. I don't care. 9-to-5s are the greatest thing on the planet. Like, internet wouldn't exist without it. My house wouldn't exist without it. Cars wouldn't exist without it. We need that shit. That shit has to exist for a fucking reason. What I'm saying is that, you know, you're gonna start doing a job, right? And by the time you're 30, you're gonna forget about the fact that when you were 18, you swore to yourself you would never do something that was going to fucking like mutilate your life in the way that sitting at a desk and doing something that you don't give a fuck about will do. And if you love sitting at your desk and doing your job, then please do it for the rest of your life and die happy. But if you hate it, then go find another job. Go find another thing you want to do. Go play another sport if you hate the sport you're doing. Go to another school. Study something else, right? Forget about that shit. And again, bringing it back to the thing that I was talking about before, which is, you know, not being who you think you are, or being the person that can make the most out of every situation, is that you don't always need to like conform to the person that you've told people you are. For like 4 fucking years, I've told people that I'm a specific person, and I feel that I have to live up to that expectation that I've put on other people. Like, I've said I'm this kind of person, and now it's like, well, fuck, I've told everyone I'm that kind of person, so now I guess I gotta be it. But I don't want to be that kind of person. Like, what if I don't want to be that kind of person? What if I'm not, you know, an engineer? What if I'm not? What if I am, but what if it's in a different frame? What if it's in a different framework that I think? What if it's not the same framework that everyone else thinks, right? Like, what if I have my own way that I want to do things? But I've told people that I'm going to do things in another way, so now I got to do it that way. But why am I doing it that way? It's because I feel like I have to impress them, or I feel like I have to uphold something to them. Well, fuck them. I don't even know who the hell half these people are. Realistically, the only people you should give a damn about are your mom and your dad. That's it. And even then, it's like, really, does their opinion really fucking matter that much? Is their opinion really that important? Because 9 times out of 10, half of these damn success stories you hear, the biggest haters were the parents. The parents were the ones being like, just get a safe job, just do this, just do that. And I'm not saying, oh my god, everyone has to be a fucking rapper or a fucking entrepreneur. Like, shut up, okay? I'm saying, like, even in the smallest ways possible, like, if your parents want you to be a doctor, but you really want to be a fucking accountant, then just go be an accountant. Okay, because chances are you're going to do better at the thing you want to do than you are at the thing you don't want to do. Anyways, the main point with this, that please, just if anything gets through to your head, please, the main point with this is just forget about everything that is not in the moment making the moment better or you better. Everything that you do in every situation on every day should be one of those two things, right? If you're at a cottage and you're someone who's scared of the water, you should be someone who's not scared of the water. And that's not because you're being an idiot. You're still being smart. You're not going to go in the fucking middle of the lake and go diving 400 feet without a fucking life jacket or anything. You're going to be smart about it, right? But you're going to be the person that makes the best out of every situation. And you're going to let go of who you think you are. And you're going to be just one with everything. That's it. I don't know how else to put it, but you're just going, like, I hope that gets through. I feel like I did a bad job at this one, but I hope that gets through to someone because it's really gone through to me. And I'll make fucking 3 more videos on this if I have to, because I think this is, like, literally the most important thing that I've ever figured out. I'm super serious. So I hope this helps. I hope someone watches this and is like, you know what? I'm going to go do that thing or next time I'm in a situation where I feel like my personality is holding me back, I'm going to forget about my pride and prejudice and my bias towards myself and my ego and all of these things. I'm going to throw all that shit out the window, and I'm going to be the person that makes the best out of this situation. Right? I'm camping. I'm not scared of bears in the dark. I'm scared of fucking nothing. And I like to sleep on rocks on the ground. Thank you for watching.